This weekend, the UFC is going to Nashville, Tennessee for UFC Fight Night Texeira versus Lewis. And I'm going to give my breakdown and analysis of the main and co-main events. Now, the reason I've only done that is because I've been lazy fucker and I haven't had much time in my schedule, but also because I want to give my full effort towards the two fights that are, well, the most important on the card. But I just want to give a quick shout out to the fact that Steve Garcia is finally getting his shot at top 14. I think he was booked to fight Barboza, and then that didn't pull out. And then obviously we've got Nate the Drain, absolute fucking G. Also, we've got Vito Petrino coming up to heavyweight, and we've got the fat ass Junior Tuffer finally not becoming a fat ass, slimming all the way down to light heavyweight. By the way, he looks ripped as fuck. Still got those fucking love handles, but it's good to see Aussies, higher weight class Aussies, not known for just being fat. I'm staring at you, fucking Taito Ivasa, fucking 3 chairs width, fucking fat ass. Oh, and Chris Curtis is going down to welterweight. But let's get into the nuts and bolts of everything. So, Wonderboy Thompson versus Gabriel Bonfim. Most people know who Stephen Wonderboy is. And I do want to say, just quickly before we start this, I want to do a bit of a rant. Is that I kind of don't like how Wonderboy's kind of getting disrespected. I know he's openly said that he's okay with being sort of like the gatekeeper to the top 15, to giving these young guys his shot. But I feel like the UFC has heavily disrespected him a little bit. Now, this might be my bias because I really like the guy. I think a lot of people who, like a lot of more hardcore fans really like this guy or a lot more older fans know about Thompson and really like him. And I get that he doesn't really cater towards the more casual audience, I'll watch the big pay-per-view audience. Or like just your general newcomers to the UFC because, he got knocked out by Buckley last, I think October, I want to say. And, 9 months ago. And he hasn't been, in there that much. And he is the oldest man on the roster. But I feel like we should have been able to see some more fun striking fights with Wonderboy. Like, give him that redo the Luque fight. Right? Like, but Luque can grapple, so maybe not. But, like, how exciting was that Kevin Holland fight, Give him something like that. I had one in mind, but I've just completely lost it once I've started talking. And to be honest, I'm not going to go back to it. So a quick overview of Wonderboy. He's 17-8-1. He's coming off a KO loss to Joaquin Buckley. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. He lost to Buckley recently and then lost to Sharfcut just before that. And he's fighting Gabriel Bonfim, who's 27 years old. He's significantly younger. His last victory was in Feb against Chaos Williams by submission. Yeah. And he's, trying to increase his win streak. Now, quickly, just because of, there's always, we love a bit of MMA superstition, right? Wonderboy has never lost 3 times in a row. He's always lost twice in a row and then broken that streak. And he's just coming off 2 losses. So, look, taking my analysis, which I'm going to give, but after that, just consider the fact that perhaps the MMA gods will be blessing him. Alright, let's get into so I'm going to get into it now. So, Gabriel Bonfim is quite a well-rounded fighter. He's very Muay Thai on his striking, very aggressive. He'll come forward with you. He's a little, he's a bit more square. Right, he'll come forward, you blast that long 2. He'll pop a lot of jabs at you and throw leg kicks, and he'll pretty much look to get in the range to land damage against you, or to get into grappling situation. He's really, if you watch the Chaos Williams fight, it's actually quite interesting because he fought completely differently against Chaos Williams than how he fought against everyone else before. Against Chaos Williams, he was really reserved. He was staying really at range, popping him with his jab and calf kick. But if you go back just one fight, if you watch the Unglusive fight, he was actively getting in there trying to throw power shots. And he barely threw any power shots and built anything off the jab in that Chaos Williams fight, which was quite interesting to me. So I'm not 100% sure on how he's going to come out in this fight. Whether he is going to choose that more aggressive come forward style, or he's going to stay at range and pop. I don't think he can stay at range and pop with Wonderboy. It's never going to work out. His entire childhood has been doing karate, and his entire style is blitzing it, from a long range and catching you off guard or at an angle that you just don't see. So if he comes out with the way he fought Chaos Williams, there's immediate problems. When Bonfim grapples, he really likes the body lock. I haven't really seen him shoot doubles. I haven't really seen him shoot singles. He really likes the body lock, and then from there he would look to slam you. So he's obviously quite physically strong, right? He's a big physical dude, right? He does frame when he strikes. He will look to grab a tie clinch. He did it against Angelusa, but he will also look to get that right hand on the back of the neck and then pull you into a knee. He will do that, and then use the elbow to push you away and keep you away. But I don't particularly like the way he looks in this fight. Well, okay, let's go down to his losses. He's lost to Nicolas Salvi. It's the only reason he's lost. And I think that entire fight was because he got completely, out-cardioed. And that fight has nothing to do with Wonderboy, because Wonderboy doesn't fight like him, right? But what is special to learn about this is that he can be broken down. And who else is brilliant at breaking someone down? Who's able to break someone down as tough as Kevin Holland than Stephen Wonderboy Thompson? Now let's get into some Stephen Wonderboy Thompson glaze. Wonderboy has a karate stance. He's very bladed. He will blitz in and out. It's all he does, right? He stands quite far range. He actually one thing I want to mention is he likes the open stance. He'll actively choose the opposite of the way you stand. So Bonfim is an orthodox fighter, so Wonderboy will most likely be southpaw. And I think the reason he likes that is because his, if he's southpaw, his left hand down the pipe is fully there. Because he's so good at stepping out, getting that outside foot position, and blasting it down the pipe. Wonderboy fights, I wouldn't say primarily off counters, but he's really good fighting off counters. He'll let you pressure him, and then when you come in, or something, he will just come at you with that left hand down the pipe, and it will turn angles or try and get another angle and blast a right hand at you. One thing I don't like about what Wonderboy does in relation to this fight is that he's quite willing to get to the fence. Now, getting to the fence isn't necessarily a bad thing, but in Wonderboy's case, I don't like it purely because of the way he stands. It's so bladed, right? So he's either fully, his legs are either fully vertical, which they normally are because he's going forward and backwards, or they're fully horizontal. But the thing is, to go from fully vertical to fully horizontal, it takes time. It's like an extra step, right? And that step normally lands him in trouble. Because when he tries to go laterally, he needs to, normally shift his back leg to the side that's lateral. But that, most of the times you see the person he's fighting come forward with a shot. And that's actually how Kevin Holland hurt Wonderboy, if you watch that Holland fight in the first round. Or get that clinch on him. And when you get that clinch on him, when you can land that one and with that shot on him, it's trouble. Because his hands are always down. But I don't want to shit on Wonderboy's takedown defense. Who has this guy been beaten, in terms of grapplers? He's been beaten by Gilbert Burns. World-class jiu-jitsu. Obviously his fights recently hasn't aged well. He's gotten really old. His age has really shown, which Wonderboy surprisingly hasn't. So I guess that's props to him. W genetics. But Gilbert, obviously, back when he fought Gilbert was the man, bro. He was the boogeyman. Then he fought Bilal Muhammad. Fucking former champ. He lost to JDM, but former champ. Beat the shit out of Leon Edwards. Maybe Leon Edwards is not that guy. He's not that guy, pal. And then he's on to Shavkat. Now, I don't know about you, but those three are some fucking good grapplers. Shavkat is the guy who should be fighting for the title if Islam didn't exist or wasn't coming up. But that was the guy who literally just lost the title. And Burns, obviously, I don't want to talk about him more recently, hasn't aged that well. But, man, he fought for the title. And to compare Bonfim's grappling to theirs, man, I'm not happy with that. Now, you could make the argument of Joaquin Buckley was able to take Wonderboy down. He was. But Wonderboy popped back up. Okay, but now I need to talk about when he gets taken down. So how did Shavkat take him down? Against the fence. He kicked him out and dragged him down. How did Buckley take him down? He got Wonderboy moving backwards. Wonderboy went to move laterally. That extra step, shot the double, took his feet from under him. If Bonfim is to win this fight, he needs to do that. He needs to get Wonderboy moving backwards, and then he needs to shoot a takedown. But again, I've only really seen him do takedowns from that body lock. I've never seen him really blast a double. And you can't get a body lock takedown against a guy who's against the fence. Because the fence is there. Right? So I don't think Bonfim can do it. And I don't think Bonfim can get Wonderboy moving back the way he needs him to. How can you get Wonderboy moving back the way you need? You need to be like Buckley. You need to be explosive. You need to be like Holland. You need to be long and moving constantly. Wonderboy is not hittable. Wonderboy is not catchable unless you catch him when he's moving back with like a 5-6 shot combo or 5-6 step like sequence, right? Or you catch him coming in. Bonfim's flat-footed. Well, okay, he's not actually that flat-footed, but he's not exactly light on his feet. He's actually quite slow and ploddy compared to like some people, right? He's not the type of guy who's fast enough. He's not the type of guy who knows how to move that much to catch Wonderboy. And look, I get it. People think he can take him down. People think he can sub him. The only time I see Bonfim doing this to Wonderboy, right, is when they crash into each other and sort of fall over the top of each other. You saw it against Holland. You saw it against Holland twice. Okay, it was Wonderboy against Holland. Wonderboy would take that step in with the open stance, and then Holland would also see him coming in. He would walk forward, and then they would sort of trip over each other, and Wonderboy would end up on bottom because Holland would be taller. I don't think Bonfim's capable of doing that. He stands so upright, his weight's so up, that he's just not going to be able to. So, I think this fight ends with a Wonderboy third round TKO. I think Wonderboy is going to be able to, Bonfim's not going to be able to build any offense. He can't build his jab. Wonderboy's too far. He might be able to build a calf kick, but Wonderboy knows how to deal with them. He will take an angle, or he will just see it and come forward. I think Wonderboy's going to be able to play his game. I think Wonderboy's going to walk him into shots. And I think, ultimately, that regardless of the age, I don't think cardio's going to play into factor. I think it's a 3-round fight. And I think the damage is going to wear on Bonfim. That's how I see it going. I will admit, I do want to quickly apologize. This was not the greatest breakdown. I kept stumbling for some fucking reason. I don't know why, but I'm sorry for that. Alright, let's move on to Derrick Lewis versus Tallison Shara. So, we all know the Black Beast, Derrick Lewis, right? He's coming off, I think, he was meant to fight last November, and he pulled out, like, Janato Denise, and then he pulled out, like, the week of, or a couple of days before, due to a medical issue. Now, I still can't find what it was. Maybe it is somewhere over on MMA Twitter. I just haven't been able to find it. Maybe someone knows. But regardless of that, he's coming off a win over Rodrigo Nascimento. I mean, it was like a minute fight. He just threw a flying knee at him and just hit him. Like, it was cool. And the thing is, he's 40 now. I watched the interview of Derrick Lewis with MMA Junkie, and I have conflicting thoughts. Motherfucker's openly said he's eating whatever the fuck he wants in Nashville. Oh, I'm eating shrimp and grits. Shrimp and grits. Like, brother. It's like Tai Tuivasa eating Taco Bell before the fight, right? But he did also simultaneously say he's got abs. So, should I trust him? Should I not? Physically, I think it wouldn't matter too much, because I think Derrick Lewis has that dog in him. Tallison Shara, if you see him, you can see he's 4 fucking feet taller. He's a lot taller. He is one of the few guys in the heavyweight division that is actually a heavyweight. Tom Aspinall is one, Alexander Volkov is one, Cyril Gane is one, Tallison Shara is one of them. He's not a fat ass. Look at him. I mean, yeah, he's a bit skinny, fam, but he ain't a fat ass. He's a tall motherfucker. He's a dangerous motherfucker, and he's a long motherfucker. He's a motherfucker who knows how to use Muay Thai. Is actually technical. Isn't It's not a bar brawl when he gets in there. It's a technical fight. You watch his fights in LFA. You watch his fights against Francesca. Man, he was piecing him up, bro. Pull counters everywhere. Shit was beautiful. So, Tallison Sherrod's coming for a win against Justin Tafa at UFC 312 in February. I was there. I saw Justin Tafa's fat ass fall. He looked in. He got in there, touched his mustache, did a little jiggle, went to fight, touched his mustache, got pushed to the fence, he never fell. Oh, the whole arena fucking earthquaked. Dominant win. Contender Series was dominant as well. Contender Series was the fight where he had the most trouble. And if anything, the guy he fought Derrick Lewis will do the same similar shit. Now, when I broke this fight down, I compared Lewis's fights most to Alexander Volkov. Why? Because Alexander Volkov's this long technical guy that Tallison Teixeira sort of is. Right? And Alexander Volkov was able to hurt Derrick Lewis like 5, 6, 7 times during the fight. Volkov beat the shit out of him. Like, until, obviously, he didn't. Right? Like, it was a 5 seconds left. Volkov beat the living shit out of him. But when you watch the fight, the one important thing to notice from Derrick Lewis is that he doesn't give up, and he's oddly explosive. I think he's actually an athletic dude. I would characterize Derrick Lewis as a tough, athletic, but lazy fucker. Like, Derrick Lewis is a lazy man. That's why you've seen him not build his skill set more than just wing overhands. Derrick Lewis literally throws a 1-2. He will throw an occasional body kick, and will throw an occasional knee. He literally won't do more than that. He won't combo those together as well. He'll throw a 1-2, take a breath. Throw a head kick, take a breath. Actually, no, he will occasionally do slip, left hook, which is the most technical thing that Derrick Lewis does. So when you look at this fight, especially because they're fighting in a big octagon, right? It's got the big octagon has what 44% more area, I think, is the stat. That's crazy, right? And for a guy who needs a small octagon, because a guy whose only weapon is to explode into and land that one shot on you. Well, I don't want to say one shot because he's done it to multiple people, but to land that shot on you, a big octagon is not good news for Derrick Lewis. I think Tallison Teixeira is genuinely a threat. Now, to be fair, we haven't seen enough of him. We haven't seen enough experience from him. But I think he's a genuine threat. When you have a guy who's able to throw teeps, who's able to actively use a jab at heavyweight, brother, even Tom Aspinall can't do that. I mean, he doesn't really need to, but he can't throw that teep. Right? When you got a guy who's got very good Muay Thai fundamentals, when a guy who's able to use the teeps, use the high kick feint, walk you, circle into that high kick, and then start using hip feints to get you to react. And then a guy who, before, we never saw him shoot a takedown. In the Tafa fight, shot a takedown, used it to push him to the fence, and then elbowed him. Like, who knows what he's going to come out with in this fight? Who knows how much he's developed? Who knows how much he's built? Right? Like, I do want to say, though, one thing I don't like about Tallison Teixeira is that he really likes a shoulder roll. And when you're a tall guy, it would generally work, but only if you sort of lean back with it and actively use your shoulder as a way to block it. He doesn't. He just uses his shoulder roll instead of putting his left hand up. And that came quite apparent in the Lopez fight on Contender Series, which is, if anything, the one thing that will get him KO'd against Derrick Lewis, I think. Right? But when you got a guy who's so patient, or you got a guy who's able to beat you and keep range with you constantly, a guy who's able to jab at you, wait for you to counter, and then fire, a guy who's just... Look, I'm saying all this shit, but it pretty much comes down to this. Tallison Teixeira knows how to use his weapons. Derrick Lewis knows how to fight in a bar. Like, who are you going to pick? You're going to pick the guy who knows how to fight. 9 times out of 10. So, I think this fight's pretty easy for Texeira. I think it's 5 rounds. I don't know if he will finish Lewis early, because Lewis is that tough. But if Alexander Volkov, a guy who doesn't really have heavy hands, can hurt you 6-7 times over a course of a 15-minute fight, I think Tallison can hurt him once or twice, and he will put him away after the second or third time that he hurts him. So that's been my breakdown. I know it hasn't been that good. I haven't fully been able to write everything out. I would like to structure the videos more, and I am still learning. But hey, got a new mic though, right? So, yeah, thanks for listening. This is so fucking shit, but I will get so much better. Yeah, thanks, and we'll see what the fight comes. I'll do a post-fight reaction. I'll do a post-card. I'll do a full post-card reaction. I'll probably do a couple days after, purely because I want to be able to watch everything and sort of digest everything. But yeah, all right, have a good night. Thanks.